Hello, everyone. Welcome back. This is a live recording of a 50-minute full body flexibility practice. Today, I use two blocks, but you could use a cushion or a pillow instead. And I also use my strap if you have something to make your arms longer. So find a little bit of space to move for sure, and let's get started. And if you are gonna lay on something, you can set up whatever that might be. Happy Friday, my goodness. Another nice week. So let's do some nice yoga. So you can lay down on whatever you're gonna lay on. And if you are using blocks, just make sure they're in a nice place. Word of the day, nice, I guess. You can bring your arms out to the sides, maybe a little bit further away than they are right now. Maybe turning your palms to face up. You can decide what you'd like to do with your legs. And just closing your eyes. Start to notice your belly and your chest moving with your breath. Start to scan your body all the way from your toes to the crown of your head. Making any adjustments if needed. Maybe you're able to be still right from the start. Sometimes easier to do on certain days than others. Just allow yourself to slow down. You want to breathe a little slower, a little bit deeper. You can add that in too. And stay here a little bit longer. If you do need to move at all, maybe stay exactly as you are. Setting any thoughts on your mind off to the side. Focus more on the next breath that you take. And stay here for 3 more full breaths. Maybe remain nice and still, or maybe you've got to start to move a little bit. Some smooth, slow breath. Eventually, fingers, the toes might start to wiggle. Your legs can move too until your knees are bent and your feet are planted. You might stay on whatever you're laying on for another moment or two. Notice how your back is feeling today against whatever you are laying on. And if you are still on something, sit up slowly. Take it out. You can move it off to the side. We'll come back down flat on our backs. Have your strap close by if it's not already. But once you lay down, you could hug your knees to your chest. You could sway a few times, side to side. Just massaging your back against the ground. And before we use our straps, we're just going to roll all the way over onto our left side. So you can let the knees fall over, roll all the way over. You might use your left arm as a pillow or lift up a little. Rest your head on your hand. And then we're going to reach back for our right foot. We'll find our quads stretch. Hug your heel towards your glutes. Just notice what your bottom leg is doing. It might be nice and bent to keep you balanced. Notice what your top leg, your quad stretch leg is doing as you might have some movement there with the knee maybe pointing forwards, maybe pointing down to the bottom of the mat. Maybe there's not a lot of movement, but the more you send the knee back, the more you might feel your quad. We're going to be letting our foot go. We're going to be stacking our legs on top of one another. So bend your knees a lot if they aren't already. Maybe the knees are going straight out from the hips or somewhere close to that. We're going to stay on our left side though. You can come up and onto your forearm if you'd like. Tuck your elbow underneath your shoulder. Just kind of let the hips get heavy, the side body lengthen a little bit. You might take a peek down towards your feet. Maybe comes behind you. A little bit of a twist, a little bit of a side stretch. But if you want some more, you could always lift up onto that left hand. We're going to keep our knees bent. Same thing, you might take a peek towards the feet, the bottom of your mat. You might take your right hand to the ground behind you for a little twist. Take just another breath here. You did lift up onto your hand or even onto that forearm. We're going to slowly make our way back down so that we can turn over and onto our backs again. Take your time, roll on over. We're going to find our straps once we're on our back. The knees can be bent, feet planted. You want to take a little sway of the knee side to side, massage your low back first. And then our right foot is going to lift up into the air. You can add your strap if you got one or hold your leg if you don't. Place that strap right on the ball of your foot. Send your heel up. Find the length through the right leg. And maybe the left one too. So we're going to keep our right leg lifted. Heel pointing up, but we might move the left leg. So if you did send it out long, you can bend it again if you'd like. Plant your foot on the ground. You might even scooch that left heel a little closer to the left glute. See how close it can get. Your right foot might even move a little bit too. And then if you want to let the left knee tip out to the side for a half diamond with that left leg, you can let it tip out to the side. Maybe resting on the outside edge of that left foot. Try to glue your low back down. Continue to send your right heel up. And if you did add in that half diamond with the left leg, we'll slowly bring that knee back up so the foot's planted on the ground again. Send your right heel up, point your toes towards your forehead, maybe a touch extra. Take one more breath in. And then as you breathe out, you can bend, release your right leg, foot down to the ground. You can also place your strap off to the sides. You might start to give the knees a sway. You might even hug them in towards your chest. Just noticing what you're feeling so far. We're going to be tipping over, rolling all the way over to the right side. Maybe lifting the head, rest the head in your hands, reaching for your left foot, finding that quad. You can decide how bent your bottom leg is. You can decide where that knee is pointing. Maybe bringing it back. Pointing it down towards the bottom of the mat a little bit more. Gently hugging the heel towards the glute. And you can slowly let your foot go. You can bend the legs a little bit more if you'd like. Just stack the legs on top of one another. Maybe you'll start to lift up and onto your forearm. You might be staying here. Bring that elbow under the shoulder a little bit. Maybe taking that bit of a twist too. And then if you wanted to lift up onto your hand, also an option. If your wrist is okay with it, everything's okay with it. Lengthen the side body a little bit. Maybe turning the chest, the gaze towards the feet or the bottom of your mat for a twist. Stay for just one more breath. And you can start to lower yourself down. If you are lifted up, we'll be laying on our backs again. So just take your time. Lay down slowly. You can find your strap again. But maybe a sway of the knees first before you lift your left foot up into the air. Send the heel up. Lengthen the left leg and maybe the right one for a few moments. You can keep the right leg long. You can start to bend it back in. Maybe scooching that heel a little closer towards your glute. See if the left leg moves a little bit. Holding that left leg in place though, and maybe adding your half diamond. Maybe you can rest on the outside edge of the right foot. Now, if you did bring the right knee out to the side, you can start to bring it back up. And just sending that left heel up a touch more, a little point of the toes towards your forehead, maybe. Stay for an inhale. And as you exhale, you can start to release that left leg down. You can move your strap off to the side. Maybe you want to be still here. Maybe you want to shake it out a little. Sway the knees side to side or hug the knee. And we are going to come up to seated if you want to roll over or rock yourself up. We'll come to seated and then we're going to set up our legs kind of maybe 90-90 with our right leg in front, or you can have your left knee and your right foot nice and close together. So maybe 45-45 for my math people. So if you need to tip over towards the right side a little bit, we're kind of sitting on the right glute, the right hip. If it does feel comfortable to bring some space between the back knee and the front foot, might be more of your 90-degree angles. Might scooch a little bit so that you're facing more forwards if possible. And then just a few things that we can do here with our upper body. We can try to turn the chest more to the right side for another twist. So keeping the chest lifted off of that low back and turning, maybe just looking. Your left hand might touch your leg somewhere, the ground. You might even be able to take a peek all the way to the right and behind you. Can you see your back foot? Now you can stay in this twist a little bit longer if you'd like, or if you want to move the upper body a little bit. Maybe you'll turn to face forwards again. Maybe we'll try to walk the hands forwards. We'll try to lean forwards towards our front knee a little bit more. Maybe you can keep tipping and tipping and tipping until the forearms touch the ground. Or if you've got a pillow or your blocks, you could rest your forearms on those. And then just one more chance to move the upper body. You can lift back up. We'll take our chest and we'll just turn it to kind of face the left side a little bit more. But if you can kind of still lean to the right a little, just a little turn of the chest towards the left a touch. And if the left arm can add into this, kind of leaning over to the right side, reaching up and over with that left arm, you might take a peek towards your fingertips. And then you're just gonna release that left arm. We're gonna free up our legs by bringing them in front of us. So if you maybe slide things up, move things back, however you need to come off of that right leg and hip. Giving your knees a bit of a hug, a little bit of a shake maybe. And before we switch sides, we're going to send our right leg out long and our left foot to the inner thigh. If you wanted to grab your strap to help point the toes up, we're going to lengthen that right leg again. So you could use a strap or not. Just lengthen your spine for sure. And stay seated tall, or you can start to fold forwards. You decided to fold forward, stay for just another breath or two. And let an inhale help you lift again. And you can take the strap and move it to the side. And bring your legs back in, back together. And then we'll kind of lean over to the left side now, setting up our maybe 90-degree angles, maybe 45, something like that. But if your front foot and your back knee want to touch each other, let them. If there's some space there, great, that's cool too. A little tip over towards the left side though. Lifting the chest. So adjust your legs if needed. And then start to take a peek over towards the left. Compress the ground away into the hand. You can take a little twist or kind of a big twist. Maybe see how much rotation you have through the neck by trying to take a peek towards that back foot. Just an option. And then you might like this and want to stay here. You might not love this, or you just want to tip forwards. But if you can face forwards a little bit more, try to level the upper body a little bit as you start to tip, maybe just a little, maybe a little bit more. Feeling that left glute. You can lift back up one more time if you want to add that side stretching. Lifting slowly, a little turn of the chest towards the right side now, but bring that left hand to the ground, a little tip over towards the left side. Reach up with your right arms, kind of like a diagonal reach. Lean, look to the fingertips. And then starting to release that as well. So you can let your arm fall down. You can tip over or slide your back leg up, whatever you got to do to bring the legs in front of you again. Give the knees a hug or a squeeze. We're going to send that left leg out long, right foot to the inner thigh, adding your strap if you'd like. And then inhale to lengthen your spine. Maybe stay seated tall. Maybe taking a forward fold. Now if you're folding, well, you can take another breath or two, but just use an inhale that help you lift back up. When you're ready, you can take your strap off to the side again, legs back together, hugging the knees. And we're gonna come onto our hands and knees. A little bit of stuff for our arms. You might want to give the hips a little bit of a sway though. Now we're going to do one arm at a time. We're going to start with the left hand. Start with the wrist as well. So you can turn the fingers out to the side, or you can turn the fingers to point your knee. Spread the fingers wide, try to connect the palm. Stretch your wrist. Stretch your forearm. Now we're going to turn those fingertips back to face forwards. We'll take the counter stretch for that left hand, palm facing up, maybe fingers pointing towards your knee. And then we're going to kind of crouch down onto our forearms a little bit so that left hand can become a fist. We'll hold that fist with the right hand. And then you can lift your forearms back up. So hold the fist with the palm facing up of that left hand. Hold the fist nice and snug. And as you start to lift the forearms, start to straighten the arms, and a gentle press of the top of your hand into the ground. You might feel the forearm go all the way into your shoulder. And then you're just going to let that go. So you might want to bring the elbows back down so that you can let your hands go and maybe take a little wiggle of the fingers. You can climb back up onto your hands. We're going to take that left arm, still on that left arm. We're reaching it forwards. For our half puppy dog stretch, you might want to lower onto your right forearm. Reaching that left arm out as long as it can go. Maybe walk the fingertips away. How long can you make that arm? Can you slowly lower and lower and lower the forehead, the chest? Let's use an inhale to lift slowly. Maybe you end up back on that right forearm. Maybe you can bring the left hand in to help you climb back up onto your hands. You can stay in tabletop a touch longer. We're going to be sitting back on the heels though, or you could stand on your knees, but I want your arms to be free, especially the left one. It's going to be reaching up. We're going to bring the hand behind the head or towards the top of the shoulders. So maybe the elbow is pointing up, and then take your right hand and hold that elbow. Lengthen your spine. Maybe you can lightly feel your fingers on the top of the shoulders, the back of the neck. And then nice and slow, let your arms go. Let them go. Maybe take a shoulder roll or a few. And then come back to your hands and knees. And one last stretch for the left arm. Right arm can reach forwards and left arm's gonna tuck underneath the chest. Lower the upper body. Keep the hips high. So one more breath here. And letting an inhale lift you again back to your hands and knees. Might feel good to find child's pose from here. Maybe bringing the arms to your sides to let that shoulder, that left arm completely relax. But rest your forehead on something. Maybe it's the right arm. Maybe it's a pillow. Just take a moment. Check in with that left arm, the left side of your body. You'd like to stay a little bit longer? Feel free. If you're ready to move, we'll meet back in tabletop. Now that we know where we're going, if there's something that you would like to skip or somewhere you'd like to stay longer, you can make that decision. We'll start with the wrist though. If you're following along with me, the fingers might turn out to the side. So on the right hand now, the fingers might point towards the knee. Feel your palm against the ground. You can take those fingers, that hand, and turn everything back to face forwards. You can take your counter stretch, palm up. Maybe spread the fingers wide. You can let that go. Hands to the ground again. You could start to lower to your forearms if that helps. Make the fist with the right hand, trying to connect the top of the hand a little bit. Hold the fist nice and snug, and then start to lift. Lift the elbows just enough as you gently press the top of the hand into the ground and hold that fist nice and snug. You might be lucky enough to feel the forearm or all the way up the arm. And then just like that, it's over. So you can bend your elbows. You can let that fist go. Maybe wiggle the fingers a little bit. You can start to come back onto your hands, back to your tabletop. Our right arm is going to be reaching forwards. You might lower to the left forearm. Walk those right fingertips away. How long can you make the arm? Maybe you barely even have to lower the chest to feel the stretch through it. But maybe the forehead will come down, the chest will get heavier too. Your half puppy dog. Just one more breath here. Then you can use an inhale to rise, lift, maybe onto that left forearm. Press the ground away. Feel free to stay in tabletop a touch longer or start to sit back on the heels or stand on your knees, but free up your arms. The right arm's going to be reaching up. Hand towards the back of the head, maybe the top of the shoulders, the back of the neck. Elbow, if you can hold it with the left hand and lengthen the spine. Feel the tricep. One more breath. And you can release your arms down and maybe add a few shoulder rolls. Maybe some shoulder rolls backwards. Maybe some shoulder rolls forward. And coming back onto the hand. Where the left arm is going to reach forwards and the right arm will slide under the chest. As you melt it down. Taking another breath and then using an inhale to help you lift all the way back up, taking your arm out from underneath your chest. Stay in your tabletop if you'd like, or finding child's pose, leaning forwards, maybe the arms coming to your sides, maybe just the right arm this time. But let the shoulders, the arms relax completely. The moment to pause. Feel your breath. Scan your body. And if you would like to stay a little bit longer, feel free to do so. And if you're ready to move again, you can start to lift up. Find your tabletop. Maybe give your hips a little sway side to side. We'll be bringing our legs back in front of us. So sitting down, you can hug your knees. Take a squeeze, a sway. And we're gonna lay down on our backs. So we're gonna play a little bit with Happy Baby. If you wanted to make your arms longer and use your strap, you can. Or you can just go for it and hold your knees maybe instead of the feet. But we're gonna lay down to start. You can keep the feet on the ground, or you can start to hug the knees towards the chest. Maybe sway a little bit side to side. Now let's just plant our right foot to start. Bring the right foot to the ground. Keeping that left knee hugging towards the chest, touch. Now you might let the knee open up to the left side a little. You might lift that left foot up. You can hold the knee. You don't have to hold the foot. You can just let your foot dangle. But if you're able to catch the foot with maybe just the left hand or hook your strap to the foot, hold on to it with just the left hand. See if you can shine the sole of your foot up towards the ceiling. So have a happy baby. Now you might like the right foot staying on the ground. You might bring that right knee to the chest. So if you can hold that knee. Now, if you feel like you're tipping over towards the left side, we're going to counterbalance that right away. You're going to open the right knee out to the side, but we're not going to hold the foot. We're just going to hold the knee and let your foot kind of dangle. Maybe the toe is kind of centered between the hips. So it's like half a happy baby meets half reclined child's pose. Now we're just gonna let that go. You're gonna let go of the left foot or the knee. You're gonna kind of bring the legs back together. The left foot might find the ground. You might hold the right knee. Guide it to the side a little. Continue to hold the knee. Or try to find the foot, maybe using the strap. Sending that heel up a little, just trying to shine the sole of the foot up if you're in that half a happy baby. Or maybe forget about the foot and just hold the knee out to the side a little bit. Let the foot just dangle where it wants to be. The left knee wants to start to come back towards the chest. If the left knee wants to open up a little wider, a little more balanced when we have both knees out a little wider, but our feet might be doing different things. Now you can stay for another breath or two, and then you can start to let everything go. The feet, the legs might come back in together. You might take a sway side to side. Your feet can find the ground. Your legs could also start to slide out long. Bring your feet out wide. And just resting your arms somewhere comfy too. Finding your Shavasana. Noticing your breath again. And slowly start to bring some movement to your body. A deeper breath in and out. Maybe reaching your arms above your head for a nice big stretch. And bending your knees. You can roll over. Finding your way up and into a comfy seat. Bringing your hands together. Take one more inhale to sit taller. Let it go. Awesome practice, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me today. Have a really lovely weekend, and I will see you guys very soon. Namaste.